Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me this morning on Regan Says. I'm your host, Regan Adams, with All Things Regan. So let's get into it. So today's topic, I am talking about love. And the topic is, do you really love them like you say you do? So 5 years ago when I started my business, and I've told you guys the story a million times, and I actually came to the revelation of having Putting Me First about 5 years ago in Atlanta when I was on a mini girls trip with my friend Cindy and her friend. And I spent that weekend basically, we got a room. I got a room by myself, and I actually kind of dug into the Word of God, and I prayed, and we had our time, our girls trip time, but I spent time in the Word too. And what God revealed to me before He revealed the event, or before He revealed the business aspect of it, was love. And so I really believe that He is taking me back to love. So I just kind of want to talk about that. So when I say love, it has uncovered a lot in the past like 2 weeks. So I was having a conversation with a business friend of mine. We're going to be doing an event together next year in Indianapolis, and the name of the event is called My Beautiful Beauty Marks. We'll talk about that later. I am so excited to be working with her. I mean, it's just amazing how God has put people in my path who I don't know. I've met them off of social media and don't know them from a can of paint, but when we have conversations, when we've hung out, it's like I've known them all my life. It's almost like sometimes I'm talking to myself. So we're really just in alignment with our core belief system and our values and just past things. And it's crazy because every time like I'll do a video, or she'll do a video, or she'll speak about something, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going through the same thing. It's amazing. But anyway, so we were talking about how God has been just dropping different people in my life, like people that I just don't know. I'm connecting with like a slew of people. And another thing that I'm noticing is it's not the same type of person that I would normally hang around. So when I say that, I'm meeting people who are homosexual. I've dealt, with other races. People with different religious backgrounds, maybe Muslim, or they believe differently. And what I'm noticing is that everybody's different. And I'm not used to like really dealing up close and personal with people who are not like me, outside of being maybe white. And so now it hit me like, okay, Lord, this is what you were talking about, because I really feel like He's starting to elevate me to another, level of whatever, not quite sure where, but I am being elevated because He's starting to bring more people around me. But what He's showing me is that I already know, different people have different problems. So we got that. Everybody has something. But He's showing me that I'm going to have to love everybody where they are. No judgments. Definitely no prejudgment, especially as being a Christian, because, we get a bad rap. We really do, about how we treat people, especially when they're homosexual. We get a bad rap for that. And I don't want to be that person. And what I've known to be true is that again, that goes back to past hurts, that goes back to past anything. And basically, you just need to treat people how you want it, how you want to be treated. And don't go in with, well, I'm not fooling with them because they're homosexual, or I'm not fooling with them because they're Muslim. I'm not fooling with them because they have a different, preference of whatever. I can't do that. And so I really believe, and this is going to be a really short video, I really believe that, especially speaking from a Christian standpoint, you have to walk in love. That's one of the main fruits of the Spirit, like love. Jesus called you to love everybody, no matter where they are in life, or what they're doing, or whatever. Because here's the thing, even in our sin, whatever the sin is or was, He still loves us. Like, man, and when I just stop and think, Like, I don't have time to judge anybody off of what they got going on, because I got enough stuff going on in my life that I have to deal with. So I don't have time. He calls me to love everybody. And here's another thing. When you go and you judge other people, first of all, it's like you think that you're better than them, you know. And I think really, if there's a change that needs to be made, or God, you know, places whatever change, or he sends you in somebody's path, or vice versa, you're not going to do it with saying, I think you're wrong for whatever and blah, 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 blah. Because when you have one finger pointing, you have three pointing back at you. So what are you doing? But you're not going to get anybody with any kind of change when you're just attacking. So your main thing is to walk in love and show, you know, your light that Jesus has inside of you. That's it. And if anybody needs to get the changing done, Jesus knows how to get it done. So you're just called, your part is to walk in love. Another thing is, I think because there's so many different people that has so many different things. If I'm walking around judging this, and I'm not gonna fool with somebody, they may have the key to my next level. You know, God can use anybody. And so, not just saying that I'm gonna be nice to everybody because they're gonna unlock my destiny. Definitely not, because, you know, I'm a people person anyway, for the most part, like secretly behind the introverted extrovert type thing. But you just, when you cut people off, you could be cutting your own self off, basically. So walk in love. There was another point that I wanted to talk about, loving yourself. Man, there's a song, and this song is actually playing in the background of this. I love music. If you don't know by now, I love music. So every video that you will see, unless it's like a live and you may even hear it then, will have music in it. So a friend of mine was telling me about Drake has a collab, not Drake, Jesus, no. J. Cole, I'm sorry, has a collaboration album out, and I hadn't really listened to it, and he and my cousin was telling me, like, kind of posting music, because it just dropped last week, and I was already off into something else, but he was like, hey, you need to check this out. And I was like, oh yeah. So I started kind of going through the album, but then I stumbled upon a song called Self Love with Ari Lennox and something Rose and somebody else, but it's on the J. Cole compilation album. I don't know the name of it off top. It's new, just YouTube it. Y'all, listen, I have played this song like, I don't know how many times. Like, Kenny was like, mama, if you play this song one more time, I'm gonna scream. And now she's, it's funny, because now she's walking around singing it. But I'm telling you, the song, it is about self-love and loving yourself, but it's about like heartbreak, how you kind of going through the motions with a relationship, and you know, you're kind of hurting, but then you notice it's not a good relationship with you, you know, but then you're like, I'm kind of masking it because I'm not really feeling good and I'm not really dealing with it, but I really need to have self-love. I gotta love myself before I can give myself to anybody else, which we've all been through heartbreak. We've all had some type of something where our feelings have been hurt, and you know, we want this relationship or whatever to work out, and it's not working out. But we have to always go back to self-love. So that's why I was just like, man, rocking this song out, because I was like, yeah, because God had been dealing with me anyway, just about loving other people, but you can't love anybody else until you love yourself. So I have been bumping that, like, it's on now. But Google it. Like, it is a dope song. I love the song. Anyway, and then also with another side note of love, which we definitely need to have self-love, I went to a women's event this past weekend with Robin Butler, and she's doing like a small group chat and chew, which I typically do the same, but you know, it doesn't matter. And I say that because some people get upset, like, oh my gosh, here we got you know, I could potentially say, well, why is she doing that? And you know, I have these too, and I get women together too, and it's not about that. So that's another part of love, and that we kind of talk about that. So where was I at? Robin Butler, myself, and Monica Ware, we were talking. Now, Robin and I used to, Miss Robin, because she's older, a little bit older than us, so I want to be respectful. Miss Robin and I used to go to church together, and she was over our women's group back in the day, which that's where I met her, and the women's group was like super duper dope. Really, if I look at it in hindsight, I think I was being trained at that time, but that's a whole nother video. So she had the women's group over at our church, and I did not miss. Like I did, she and Cynthia Russell, Miss Cynthia Russell, they had women's group. I did not miss at church. It was dope. And I really believe I was being groomed at that time on the back end. Didn't know though. So they had the women's game on lock with the women's ministry. Okay. Monica used to go to our church as well. Now, let me tell you about Monica. I never knew her at the time. We just went to church together. What I knew about her is that when she walked in the door, she had a presence. And I was like, who is she? She was very quiet, but her presence was strong. And I was like, who is she? Like, she looks important. Like, I don't know who she is, but she looks important. And every Sunday or every Wednesday, whenever I saw her, I was like, she's dope. Like, who is this? She was always nice, you know, hey, laid back, but she had a presence and she dressed nice. Listen, it's funny because every time she would come to church, I'd be like, I'm going to sit close to her because I want to see what she got on. But I was intrigued by her. But listen, that's what I was telling, we were, talking about that in the group yesterday, because I don't think she ever knew that. She never heard me say that. She said that when she went to church, people would, or other people, I don't know if it was church, I can't remember, but some people would be like, yeah, they don't like her because of, I guess she thinks she's cute, or, she's better than everybody or whatever. But she never said anything. Like, yes, she has a presence, but she was not mean to anybody. So for somebody to say, I don't like her, or she thinks she's this, that, and the third, is an insecurity on your part. Or whoever's part, not yours, but whoever's part. And she said, that is strange that you would tell me that you liked how I looked. But on the flip side, other people were saying, I think she's thinking she's all this, that, and third. Well, honey, and that's what I was telling, Miss Robin. I was like, but they got to know who they are. Like, what you have going on takes nothing away from me, because really, when I was walking in the church, I felt, or wherever, and I have some clothes on, and I've said this before, every woman, when they feeling like they got something going on, they know they look good. Like, you can't tell them, oh, my nose is itching, I'm sorry. You can't tell them anything. So whether they say it or not, I'm going to come in with the presence. And I told y'all that when you come in the room, feel the room. Like, when I'm feeling like I'm looking cute, I'm going to be honest, you can't tell me too much of anything, but that's most women. That was Monica. Even though Monica may not have said, I look cute, but when she came in that room, she looked cute. Huh? But I wasn't mad at her, because I was checking her out like, let me take some notes. Because maybe she's got the latest fashions or something that I need to see. I haven't always been that way, though. But that came from me doing self-work and saying, you know what, I have something to offer whoever, and I have, different attributes about myself that look nice. I have features, that look nice, or my heart is good, or, finding out the good things about me. So that way, when an attractive woman comes in, I'm not feeling intimidated. I'm feeling like, I can feel the room too. Let's come in and fill the room together. And Miss Robin was saying the same thing, because when I come in, I already have like a natural mean mug, so I'm not coming in smiling. I don't come in like, hey, most of the time, because on the onset, if you really don't know me, I'm introverted, so I'm really not even going to talk to you. So I'm coming in, not really talking, and I'm feeling like I'm looking cute. That looks like, yeah, you think you all that. And my friend now, Cindy, she will tell you, when I first met you, I didn't care for you, because you have an air about you when you walk in the room. Feel the room. I think every woman should feel the room. Huh? When you feel like you looking like something, what? What did you say? But other women, I'm telling you, we need to get it together. And that's where another part of that loving yourself. Loving yourself even in the broken places. Be willing to heal and be honest with yourself about where you are on the inside. Now, am I perfect? No, I will never be perfect. But I'm going to love myself where I'm at, and the things that I need to change, that's what I'm going to be working on changing. Also, we can't, another flip side to that is we can't really love God properly if we don't love ourselves. I know you're like, what? That doesn't make sense. It does. Because he didn't make a mistake with you. Like when he made you, he knows who you are. He knew who you were before, you know, you were formed in your mother's womb. And God makes no mistake, whatever that be. He makes no mistake. And so if you're trying to find all these things wrong with yourself, I'm like, man, I don't like that. Some things we're able to change. Some things we're not. But we need to love ourselves where we're at and thank God for that. You know, and when we don't fully love ourselves, it's just like, Lord, you made a mistake. And he didn't. Because you're perfect. You're fearfully and wonderfully made. That's what he said. That's the word. So anyway, that self-love song, I love it. I've been playing it, and I told Kenny and I had a discussion about it in the car. I'm like, sis, self-love is the best love. But then the other part of the song was saying your love was the worst drug. Been in a relationship or a situationship where his love was the worst drug, like it was a good drug, not, which I've never been on like drugs. I used to smoke weed way back in the day. Like you cool with the front part of the drug, but like that after effect, it's just like, psh. But then you keep wanting the drug, but it's bad for you. Yeah, I know. I'm sure women out, listen, don't leave me out here by myself. You've been in a situationship where you done been dealing with some dude, and it's like, man, I'm really like, I know he's no good for me. I know I need to leave him alone, but it's just something about him. Man, I want you. His love was the worst drug. Ugh. But anyway, we're going to cut that part out, but we're going to concentrate on the self-love and not covering up our feelings and our emotions. And that was another thing that I really loved about the event this weekend that Miss Robin threw, because it's outside of the church. And sometimes when we get into church, and I don't know for those who sometimes who go to church, there is a mask. One thing about me, I like real stuff. Like I like real people, real stuff. Don't sugarcoat anything for me. You know, let's pull the scab back and let's talk about some things. And in that meeting this weekend, or the event this weekend, we had ladies that were able to be very transparent about where they are in their life. Because, and then I also had another a meeting right after that event with a young lady. I mean, listen, I was just looking at her, and I really haven't ever gotten a chance to just talk to her one-on-one. It was some other people that were supposed to come and they didn't, but I just love how God works, because I was able to pour into her, and she was able to, you know, talk and tell me some things that she needed to get off her chest. And I was able to share some personal things about my life and my marriage and, you know, my walk, my Christian walk. But no. I'm gonna get this together. I love these earrings, and I'm gonna tell you where I got them here in a second. I love them. I love big earrings. So anyway, sorry about that. So I was able to have a meeting with the young lady and share some very personal things. I don't think I've really shared with too many people, but I don't mind, because when I'm in a flow and the Holy Spirit releases me to release some things, I'm gonna release them, and I'm not ashamed about it. That's a good thing. That's another thing I talk about, getting free from what people think, because everybody has had a situation or situations, if you're over like 40, that it's just like, I don't want to talk about this because somebody's going to judge me. But here's the thing. We all have things that we've done that we're ashamed of. I don't care who you are. I don't care who you are. You've had things happen to you. You've been played by some dude, or you done went out and done some things with some dude that you would never tell somebody, or some things that may have happened in your marriage that you would never want to tell somebody. But in that instance, I felt the need to share it because she needed it. She needed to hear it, and to let her know, you know, even more, some more personal things that I don't care what happens to you. Like, I know, and I had empathy for what she was going through, but I'm telling you, if God put something in you that you can't shake, like it's been on you for years, and you keep trying to run and you keep trying to say, I don't have this and this and that, and this and this and that is going on, and this is why I don't think I'm going to do it. It ain't gonna happen. And I'm telling you, people it's funny. God, I'm gonna tell you about God. He's funny. You tell him what you're trying to do, and it's not even gonna happen the way you think it's gonna happen. And she and another person kept saying, well, you know, I don't think I'm gonna be here long. I think I'm gonna be moving. I'm moving. I don't see me staying here. And I said, you know what? The last person told me the same thing. I'm not gonna be here. And I said, and I'm telling you, I don't know, but I can say this in confidence because I felt like that's what God was saying. You keep trying to move away when he brought you here in the first place, and you are needed for what is going on. And both of them deal with children. I'm telling, and then I have a friend of mine like that. He deals with children. Anytime somebody has a heart for children, God has a heart for children. And you are born for the time that you are needed in the earth. So please, don't think that you're here and it's rough and it's hard just because it's rough and it's hard. Do you think the enemy wants you to move forward in the things of God and helping these children come out of a poverty mindset and having therapy and because all kind of things happen. The enemy, listen, it's all kind of situations going on. And children need somebody to talk to when they don't have their parents, or if their parents are there but they're not, you know, it's all kind of stuff. You never know what children see, what's going on, and they need somebody to talk to. They need an outlet. They need entrepreneurship. They need, you know, different skills. And these people have all of that. So please think it not strange that you have adversity coming against you when you're trying to move in the things of God. And I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you what I heard. And that I was sharing so many experiences with her. And like I was telling you guys last time, my husband's been incarcerated for over 3 years. Miss Robin didn't even know that. She said I would have never known. Never known. But I never wanted to get on here and make it a crutch. Oh, woe is me. My husband's gone, so I can't. Lies. Lies. Because God had already prepared me in my dream. He said, he didn't say, but he showed me, it's going to be hard, but I have you in my hand. It's going to be rough, but I have you in my hand. And like I was telling the other girl, if you miss or lose anything, please don't worry about it. I told her, shared some things about my financial stuff. I ain't lost nothing. And if I lose it, guess what? I will get it back. And then it's going to be even better than what I lost. I was sharing with one of the other ladies we were just kind of talking at the meeting or event, and she was talking about her car, and she'd been holding on to this car for like 20 years, and I'm like, what? But I understood because I was sharing with her that my last car, like I loved my Jeep. What did I have? A Jeep Commander. I loved it. It was horrible on gas, but I loved it. But it needed so much work. But it was paid for, and I was just like, you know, I'm going to get some things done, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I ended up somebody renting to me and totaled it, and I was like, I'm not in a position to get a car, but I need a car. And she was like, but you know, I want X, Y, and Z. And I was telling her my story. I was like, hey, man, you can get what you want. And so I told her, you know, the car that I have now is the car I wanted when I first saw it, when it first came out. And I told God, I was like, Lord, you know what? We'll get to that. I said, Lord, you know what? This is the car I want. And I'm not in a position to get it. I said, but I'm a tither, and I need you to reach back on my tithe, and because whatever, I have seed in the ground, I need you to move. And found the car I wanted, went out to the dealership, and I was like, they had it ready. It was just so easy. Like it was, I didn't toil with it. And I told them what I wanted to pay, and they were like, because I didn't want a car payment. That was number one. I didn't want a car payment. And, but I knew I was going to have one with this, because what I wanted was fully loaded and got 2 sunroofs and like, it's nice. So I was like, when I got in the car, I knew before I started driving it, I was like, Jesus, I want this car. Like I just kept looking in it. I was like, and whoever had it, they took really good care, like really, really good care of it. And I said, Jesus, I want this car. Jesus, I want this car. I want this car. And that's all I kept saying, is like, please let me have this car. I got back and I said, they said, well, what do you want to make for car payments? I said, I got this much as a down payment. They asked me what I wanted to make, and I told them, and they was like, everybody keeps saying that. I said, but I'm not everybody. I'm not everybody. I said, sit on it. I have the cash. And I had a substantial amount, because when they told on my card, it was a substantial amount of money. So I was like, I have this amount. Sit on it. I really want it, but they called me the next day and said, look, we were able to do X, Y, and Z, and here's your car payment. And it was what I, well, it wasn't what I asked for. It was a little bit more, but it was doable, where I wasn't going to really be like struggling. And because, you know, I have my other jobs and my business, so I was like, okay, cool. But I said all that to tell her another reason, like we try to hold on to stuff. Listen, this blessed me when it was even coming out of my mouth. A lot of times we try to hold on to things, and God is like, I've been trying to get you to release this thing like forever. Like, what are you doing? Because he wants to give us the desires of our heart. He wants us to, you know, he wants to give us the desires of our heart. But the one thing that I told her that he spoke to me when I got the car, because like I said, I wasn't ready. I wasn't in a position to get a car, but I knew I was going to get one. But what I felt like he was telling me was, where I'm getting ready to take you, you can't have, if you're telling people that God, like, I bless you, you need to look blessed. And not that God is just like, it's not about things, but I know what the Bible says I can have. And like I told you, I'm going to have everything that it says I can have. Everything. Like, I'm not leaving nothing on the table. I'm not. I know I'm a tither. I know where my heart is. I know I want to help people. And that's what I do. And I don't do it for money. But I know when it's time to get some, my gift will make room for me. My gifts will make room for me. So that's what I do. And she's also in business. And I'm like, you need reliable transportation to get to where you're going, but you need to look a certain way. You can't be going around talking about I'm blessed and I'm looking busted and disgusted. That don't even go together. Oh, God takes care of me, but my headlight is broken. God takes care of me and my cell phone case, the screen is broken, and you looking crazy. You need to look a certain way. If you're a blessed person of God, you need to look a certain way. And the level that he's taking me, and he's starting, you gotta look right. You gotta look right. I don't care what you think about this. I'm just telling you what I know. You may not believe that, but that's what I believe. He told me you need to look a certain way. And not that I have like this big extravagant car, but it's the car that I wanted. And it looks nice, a whole lot nicer than what I had. And she said, yeah, she said, but I was just thinking, how am I going to make the car payments? And what I was telling her, which I told you guys last week, if I looked at my account, I would not do anything. Nothing. I would be right here in the house. Right here in the house. But I'm telling you, how I move, it's just like my slogan, I think it, I see it, I do it. If this is something that I want to do or God drops in my spirit to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to consult with my checkbook. I can't. I can't. And she's a single person. I have a daughter. I can't. I cannot afford to, one, not tithe, and two, look at my account. Can't do it. Won't do it. Whatever he has for me to do, he's going to make provision for me to do it. And I trust him. He ain't let me down this whole time my husband's been gone. Matter of fact, he didn't let me down when he was here, but he definitely ain't let me down since my husband's been gone. truth be told. So anyway, love yourself. Self-love is the best love. It is. It is. And love God, love others passionately. That's what that's what our slogan is at church. Love God, love others passionately. And it's the truth, but also you got to throw yourself in there. You're not going to be able to love the other people. You can't do it because you don't love yourself. So anyway, you guys saw, I told you about my earrings. So a couple of years ago, I used to sell paparazzi, and I'm wrapping this up. Sorry, it was so long, didn't mean for it to be. A couple of years ago, I used to sell paparazzi, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. I love jewelry. I love accessories. I love clothes. Matter of fact, again, that is what my degree is in. I was supposed to be a buyer when I got out of college, and I was for 3 months, but corporate was not for me. But I did learn a lot concerning like overseas and pricing and, you know, all that good stuff. So that actually did help me, or does help me in my business now. And I also have a minor in marketing. Anyway, fast forward, it was kind of laid on my heart a couple of weeks ago. Like, man, it was like a fleeting thought. Like, man, I got to join paparazzi. I got to join paparazzi. I'm like, paparazzi? Like, where did this come from? Now, I had paparazzi before, and what I did was I found another distributor to be able to have my own jewelry line. And that was going really well. The only thing I didn't like about it was me having to haul the jewelry to every event. I had no problem getting rid of it. It sells itself. Women love jewelry, most women. So, I mean, $5, and the jewelry that I had, it was a little bit more expensive, but nothing was over like 20, but these were like statement pieces. So like really big, you know. Then I had some lower end things, but the quality was excellent. And so, it was just crazy because, like I said, for 2 weeks, it's just been on my heart. Paparazzi, paparazzi. And I was just like, so fast forward to Friday night, went to sleep. I've been sleeping really good too. Went to sleep, and God, the whole dream was about paparazzi. And he was showing me how to set it up, how to do certain things concerning the business. Like, he was walking me through every aspect of the business and how I'm supposed to do it this go around, which is totally different than how I was doing it before. He even solved my problem with me taking it like in heaps and like, he just showed me how to do it. And he also showed me somebody else that needed to be doing it, or that he just showed me her face. And so I just inboxed it for confirmation. That's typically what I do. If I dream about you and I'm thinking, you know, I got to see, is this guy? But more than likely it is if I'm dreaming about certain people that I'm not around often. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And so when I got up, I spoke to one of the people that normally comes to my events and does paparazzi. So I talked to her, and I always say, because she's a go-getter, I'm with that. If I do join, I'm going to join under her. And then I called my cousin-in-love and talked to her for like an hour and a half. And I'm telling you, it was just like super duper confirmation. I tried to mull over, and I was like, well, you know, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for a week or wait a couple of days. But it was on me, like join. And I'm like, ooh, this is. But then when I sat down and I thought about it, I was like, it just makes sense. I'm already doing live videos. I already wear jewelry. Not to just kind of toot my horn, but to toot a little bit. People sometimes say, where do you get this from? Regan, you look cute. Woo, woo, woo. Girl, I got this at XYZ. This is $5 jewelry. And these earrings are actually from paparazzi when I went to an event, which I was very surprised, because I was like, they don't normally have big earrings like this, but they have changed like the whole thing. So I started kind of combing through their inventory, and I was like, okay, wait a minute, paparazzi showing out. And then it's nickel and lead free. I'm like, let me just get back in it. So like I said, I never had a problem with selling it. I was making really good money because it sells itself. And now that I'm starting to grow a little bit, it's just a no-brainer. So I'm definitely incorporating that back into my business. I'm also going to bring, kind of merge that together with my Pretty Me accessories. So I will have paparazzi, but I also have my line and just do a 2-in-1. So I'm really excited about it. And it goes with my brand, because I know some people are like, oh my gosh, you're doing something else. Yes, I am. But everything is aligned with my brand. I make women look and feel good from the inside out. That's just what it is. And so we're going to do it on a budget, and I'm all about a budget. I can tell you about a budget. So anyway, you guys go ahead and have a great rest of the day. I'm sorry I kept you so long. I thought it was only going to be about 5 or 6 minutes, but somebody need to hear it. So anyway, check out all of my events, All Things Regan, on allthingsregan.com, All Things Regan on all platforms, and Instagram, which I need to do better on Instagram. Honey, I went on there yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm always side note. Went on there last night, and I had like tons of messages, and I'm like, I've been missing money because people are asking about events. They want to do photography for me. I'm like, what is this? So I'm gonna have to do better with Instagram. Definitely, I've always said there's money on Instagram, and there is, so I'm gonna have to utilize that. But check out my events. I have some coming up. The first one is coming up in the next couple of weeks. It's Sis, I Got Your Bag, Chat and Choose. So we're going to eat, and we're going to the movies that has Tiffany Haddish and some other people. It's like a gangster type movie, but it's like comedy too. So I think it looks like it's really going to be good. I think it's called The Kitchen. So I'm going to start promoting that this week. And the next video I'll probably have for you if my box comes is an unboxing of my stuff. I'm excited about this. And I'm excited to get some people under me. Typically, I don't like recruiting, but paparazzi is really a no-brainer. And even if you don't sell it and you like jewelry, I mean, it just makes sense. But we'll get into that later. Not pushing it on you, but you will see it. So anyway, allthingsregan.com. You guys have a peaceful, prosperous, and productive rest of the week.